Hello and welcome back to another riveting, exciting, totally tubular episode of Coffees and Cuddles.
All right, that's it. No more 80s movies for you.
Fine. Never let me have any fun.
All right. On my side, as always, as in life, is Coffee, aka Craig, who's now taking a sip of coffee.
Well, it's in the name of the podcast, so I have to imbibe coffee while I'm doing this. And by my side, as always, as in life, is Cuddles, aka Anna Marie.
Hi.
Hi. So it's been compared to last week, this has been like a walk in the park, nothing burger, boring week.
I'm sorry, did you say walk in the park, nothing burger?
Sorry, walk in the park, comma, nothing burger. Is that better? Does that?
No, I'm still confused. What the heck is a nothing burger?
It's exactly what it said. It's like, it's no big deal. It's like nothing. It's a nothing burger.
Okay.
Why are you not down with these things?
Because
You're not down, yo.
No, yo. That's it. You need to switch to decaf.
I will not drink dirt water. I refuse.
Okay, first of all, those of you who appreciate and do enjoy decaf, I apologize for what he just said. Opinions expressed by copies are not necessarily those. I know it's the way you're supposed to say that.
The opinions expressed by the hosts are in no way endorsed by the management of Coffees and Cuddles.
Okay, there. Apparently I needed him to say it. So, yeah, things have been pretty normal. A nothing burger, if you will. That just sounds wrong. Okay, I'm going to be hung up on nothing burgers all night. Although Craig has suffered a terrible coffee-related tragedy. His beloved creamer is nowhere to be found. So I have to tell him this. Oh, did you seriously look that?
I did. Nothing burger. I will use my NPR voice for this to be official and succinct and exact. A nothing burger, sometimes spelled as nothing burger, all run together, or with a hyphen or no hyphen and a space, is a term used to describe a situation that receives a lot of attention, but which, upon closer examination, reveals to be a little to no real significance. The phrase refers to the notion that a regular hamburger is supposed to be something spectacular, I guess. I don't know.
Wikipedia is a dangerous, dangerous thing. Now, can I please get back to your coffee-related tragedy?
Please carry on.
Thank you. So anyway, he has 2 different flavored creamers that he just absolutely loves. Has been buying them week after week after week without fail. We went to the store and the mocha, right?
Yes.
The mocha one he wanted was nowhere to be found. In fact, I think this has been the second trip that we haven't seen it. Oh, he's keeping count. It's been the third trip.
I'm holding up 3 fingers for you at home playing the home game.
So he even asked one of the store employees if they knew what was going on. And they said, we haven't been able to get it in. And then somebody else who just happened to be nearby said, what? There's no more of that mocha creamer? And all I could think of is he has started an absolute panic that there's no more of his beloved mocha creamer.
Allegedly, it's available in the LA area, but I'm not driving to LA to get it because I value my life more than I value coffee creamer.
First of all, when he says he's not driving to the LA area, he means he doesn't want me to drive to the LA area.
And that's royal eye.
And that's probably because the day that he moved here, the day that he landed, and I picked him up from LAX, we went to leave the parking structure. I got us lost. I looked at him and said, which way do we go?
Because naturally I would just, I am a man after all. So I would just automatically know which way to go.
Force of habit. When I'm with someone else and I get lost when I'm driving, I ask the other person, hey, which way do you think we should go? So I went and asked a California transplant which way we're supposed to go. And I had us lost in Los Angeles.
We were okay. Obviously, we survived. and we made it back here, and we went out to dinner, and everything was hunky dory. No harm, no foul.
He does. Hold on. Let me interject. He does have to rah, rah, rah. You can do it every time we drive to Los Angeles because I get really, really anxious. People are just,
I think LA was rated as like in the top 10 of worst places to drive. And being that I've lived in the East, I've lived in Texas, I've lived in the Midwest, and I've lived here. And I can tell you that LA does have some of the worst drivers I've ever encountered. And I grew up in New Jersey and in the New York area. So yeah, it's pretty bad here.
Now, wait a minute. Am I lumped into those worst drivers category?
Of course not.
Are our beloved listeners lumped in to that category?
Absolutely not. We have the most awesome listeners and the best driving listeners and all of that. So we are a cut above here at Coffees and Cuddles.
Well, all right then. So yeah, other than not being able to find his beloved creamer, we've been doing all right. Now, on our blog, where I've been trying to be really good about posting something once a week, I've been trying to do this thing of do's and don'ts in a relationship. And I wanted to point out a do for this week, and it's all because of Craig, who's now sitting here wondering, what did he do?
I'm running, the gears are like have shifted, or the little wheels have shifted into second gear now. And I'm like, oh God, what did I do now?
And there's more smoke coming out of your ears than coming off of that coffee mug right over there. So this week I had to get some paperwork done for my school. It was absolutely had to be done. They went live today. Yes, I'm talking report cards, people.
Not that anybody in this conversation waits till the last minute every reporting period to do. We'll just ignore that fact.
First of all, now I have to backtrack. I started those, didn't put them in the right section and didn't know that till today, but I had started them. Did you just play the world's smallest violin? I'm going to take your coffee in a minute. Okay, then.
Them's fighting words.
So back to what Craig did. And here's my relationship do. So as I was trying to get these done, he looked at me and he said, hey, whatever it is you need, I will bring you snacks. I will dance for you. I will bring you something to drink, whatever you need so that you can get these done. And it kept me totally calm, totally focused. I got them done. I got them done ahead of time. I was very, very impressed. So when it comes to our relationship, because again, I'm not saying what everybody should be doing, but when it comes to our relationship, I think a do is do be supportive of what your loved one, significant other, spouse, partner, whatever term you put, do be supportive. Even if you're thinking this is probably, a really little thing that I can do to support the other, absolutely go ahead and do it. And you may be thinking snacks, you were getting work done. But I mean, he could have brought me an Italian ice. He could have walked by with, some apple slices or pretzels, whatever it is. But just knowing that he wasn't going to keep me from getting something done was really, really helpful.
No, I don't understand couples that do that, where one demands that the other one must spend every waking moment with them. Do we spend a lot of time together? Sure. Is it too much time together? I don't think so, because we both have our separate interests and we have common interests, and we are mature enough, and whatever word you want to throw in there, but we are set up in such a way that if she wants to do her thing, I have no issues with that. If I want to play a video game on a computer or whatever it is I want to do, she's okay with that. And then we start the day together. We go our separate ways, and then we come back together and we go apart, and we do that constantly. And you have to, I really think that you have to have that in a relationship, where if one spouse or partner or whoever has to do something like for a work task, they absolutely have to get it done. I don't understand why you would give them a hard time about that. Could let them have their half hour, their hour, and then they're done. And then they can come sit on the couch and veg out in front of the TV with you and not have that hanging over their head or that nagging thought like, I really shouldn't be watching TV. I've got something more important to do right now. And not that spending time with your partner is not important, but there are times when the real world creeps in and just, you have to pay attention to it. I saw a video the other day. I follow an account on she's on TikTok, and I think she's got a YouTube channel, and she's on Facebook. The account is called the Dadvocate, like advocate with a D in front of it, and she talks about relationship things. She talks about how men are treated badly in relationships and women gang up on them. And one of the things she showed was a clip of the husband. He works hard all week. He wanted to watch the ball. He wanted to watch some kind of sports thing on Saturday or Sunday. And she said, oh, I thought we were going to go out and look at Christmas stuff or start Christmas shopping, or, the decorations are out in the store now. We should go look. So rather than let him have like an hour or two for the game, the game only lasts a finite amount of time. And it was early enough in the day, so she had plenty of hours to go Christmas shop or whatever after that. So rather than watch his game like he was looking forward to all week, he went with her. He got in the car and he took her. And then she was mad because, well, I finally convinced him to go, but now he's not enjoying it like he should be. Like she automatically assumed that he would just enjoy whatever this thing that she wanted to do was. It wasn't enough that he acquiesced and said, okay, I'll go with you. Probably just to shut her up, if we're being honest. But, let's argument's sake say that he went because that felt to him like the right thing to do. So rather than enjoy it, she had to make this big stink about, well, he's not enjoying this as much as I think he should or he's supposed to. Who made you the fun police? Who made you in charge of the fun quotient? And by what measurement do you ascertain that, yes, he's having the appropriate amount of fun or enjoying this the appropriate amount? I don't understand it. My girlfriend doesn't do that to me. If she says, do you want to go out? I'm like, sure, I'll go. And I don't have anything pressing, Or if I know there's a ball game on, I will tell her, look, the game's almost over. Would you mind waiting? And she's like, sure, no problem. And then she'll read, or she'll be on her phone, or she'll do whatever until I'm ready to go. And same thing with her, If she's doing something, I'm like, all right, you tell me when you're ready to go and we'll go. And it's not a big deal. I'm not like pacing up and down across the living room. I'm not like standing at the door, tapping my watch saying, come on, let's go. There's always going to be a certain amount of give and take. You may get what you want today, and your partner may get what they want tomorrow. But there's got to be that meeting of the minds, and there's got to be some kind of ground rules established, because you can't just automatically assume that your partner's a mind reader and they know what you're thinking. I've constantly heard throughout my life, well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you, or I'm not going to explain it to you. Fine, don't. Give me the silent treatment. That's an hour that I get to enjoy by myself. Not that I would do that with Anna, but you get my point. Sorry,
I didn't know if you had something to say, because that was actually perfect, because it brings me to a don't. And one of our don'ts is we don't put guilt trips on the other person. So if
they're counterproductive.
Exactly. So if there's something that I need to do or I need his help with, and I ask him and he's really not feeling up to it and tells me that he's not feeling up to it, or he's really tired, or he needs to sleep, or he doesn't feel well, I don't sit there and play games or make him feel bad to get him to do it, because what's that going to accomplish? Is that going to make me feel better? Some people might be sitting there going, yeah, because you won. No, that's not going to make me feel better. I'm going to feel guilty. I'm going to feel horrible. This year, this wonderful, wonderful guy of mine said that he was willing to be a volunteer at my school, which is absolutely awesome. And I did ask him one day, I said, hey, any chance you can come to my school this week? And I knew he hadn't been feeling well. And he said, if I'm feeling up to it. And as it got closer to the day that I was hoping he would go, I knew he just really did not feel well. And I didn't ask him, to come. I knew he wasn't feeling well. And I didn't guilt him about it. I didn't make him feel bad about it. I totally understood and said, when you're feeling better, I would love to have your help in the classroom. But putting a guilt trip on him, that's really not the way a partnership works.
Right. You made an interesting point. Some people, there's that subsection of people that would say, oh, well, you won. Is it really winning if you have to guilt your partner into doing something that you want them to do?
No,
and I'm not saying if he or she is just a jerk and never wants to do anything, then yeah, obviously there's a problem there. But if your partner normally does things and this time they're just like, look, I can't do it, then they want to beg off. And not because they don't love you or because they don't want to do things that make you happy. It's like they're not up to it. There are times when your physical battery and your emotional battery is going to be run down next to nothing, and you're going to need a day to recharge or a few hours to recharge or whatever it is. Go for a walk, play a video game, whatever it is, that ritual thing that you do to make yourself feel better and recharge your batteries. By all means, do it. But eventually, there's going to build up so much resentment, and I'm talking from personal experience here, where when one partner demands and demands and demands, it never gives back. And I'm not saying that it should be, an equal split. It has to be 50-50, because sometimes it's not going to be. Sometimes one partner is going to do 60 or 70 and the other one's going to do 30 or 40. And then there'll be times when it swings the other way and the other partner is doing a little bit more. But it's about what's acceptable to you. And these are things that, again, I'm not saying like you have to write down every rule that comes to mind, but there should be a basic understanding of, look, these things bother me. These things I'm okay with. These things I'm willing to work on. But if you don't tell your partner that you hate something and they want to do that something, they want to eat that food or whatever, and they have no idea that you hate it, and like octopus makes you freak out or something, and they want to go to a restaurant that serves that, then obviously you didn't tell them. That's not their fault. And you really can't blame them. If you don't tell them, there's no crystal ball. There's no way they're going to magically know by looking at you that octopus makes you all squicky. It's just not going to happen. So, like I said, I've been through this and I'm not saying I was perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I know I wasn't. I never claimed to be. But there were times when I was doing all the giving. I was doing the cooking. I was doing the romantic stuff. I was making the effort. Let's go for a drive. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to the craft store. Whatever it was. And there'd be times that I would ask her to do something. No, I don't want to. Or no, I've got to do this, or no, I'm tired, or whatever it was, where I just felt like, okay, fine. And that's where the resentment starts creeping in, because it feels one-sided and it feels like it's all me, me, me. And again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that this is 100% true what I'm telling you. In my experience and my recollection, this is how I remembered being. And that's all I can go by.
Mm-hmm. So something else that I've noticed, and I guess this could fall under the do category. Yeah, that would fall under the do category. I actually had to think about that. Do what you can to be a help and not a hinder. And Craig is such an awesome example of this.
Oh, shucks.
I think he's turning red. Yes, he is.
Toast.
So one of the things, and he's been doing this since day one. And he always finds some way to help me out, because for a while before he decided to give California a shot, he would be on the phone with me when I was trying to do a million things at once, take care of the dog, get the laundry done, go to the grocery store, unpack the groceries, clean the dishes, whatever it was. And he will just take care of something that's on my, oh my gosh, I've got to do this list. I'll come home thinking to myself, I've got that huge load of laundry to do. I'll walk in and I'll hear the machines running. And he'll say, hey, by the way, that laundry taken care of.
Yeah, I want to interject here. It's not really a game in the sense that I'm like playing games on her. It's more of it's a personal game in my head that I like to do, where she will tell me either late at night or on her way to school or whatever. She'll say, remind me I need to get laundry done, or remind me I want to finish up the dishes, or remind me I need to do trash needs to go out, decorations need to put back in the garage, that needs to be taken out of the garage. One of my favorite things to do is she'll come home and she'll start to say, "Oh, I need to," and I'll just look at her and I'll smile and say, "Nope, already done."
And
The look that she gets on her face makes any amount of labor that I have to do those tasks totally worth it, just to see that smile.
it's is this the smile you're talking about?
And that's exactly the one.
It's just, I don't know. It's such a help. And for a while I was feeling like I was running out of steam, that I had blown through every battery pack I had and was still trying to figure out how to get more done. And now that I have coffee here, helping me out, it is such a help. And I try to find things to do to help him. I'll be thinking in my head, okay, I'm going to make sure he sleeps a little bit more on the weekend and I'm going to get the dishes going. And he'll wake up and I'll say something to him about, hey, I got, a load going in the dishwasher. And he'll say, I really do appreciate that. And whether I'm telling him that I appreciate something he's done, or whether he tells me that he appreciates something I've done, we just do these things to help each other.
I must say, I appreciate your appreciation.
Well, your appreciation is appreciated.
All right, now that we got that settled.
One of these days we're going to find a way to put some form of appreciate into an entire conversation.
Mm-hmm. It's coming, so be prepared.
Oh no, we can't do a whole podcast about trying to have a conversation with the word appreciate, because they're not going to appreciate that. Look what you got me doing now. Oh,
I can appreciate your problem.
Stop that. No more coffee for you.
No more I'm almost empty, so.
Oh, good. Let me go hide the coffee pot. So I know that we had talked about talking about this. So we did have that one little scare that was last week, wasn't it? So
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I'm really bad with keeping time information in my head. So one of the things that I know Craig always worries about is me having to take time off work. And that is entirely my fault, because I'll grumble about, I don't want to take any more time off work, or I've taken too much time off work, or do I have any sick days left? And then he worries about, appointments that he needs to get to, because he always makes sure that he can try to get to my appointments, and I try to make sure that I can get to his appointments. And he did have to have a follow-up appointment. And I told him, just get it scheduled and I will make sure I'm there. And of course, it ended up, because we had to keep moving the days around, trying to meet with the provider. And he booked it for a Wednesday, those are extremely loaded days for me. Meeting after work. And it's just one of those days that I try not to miss work. So he booked the appointment, and I said something to my boss about it. She's like, no problem, do what you got to do. I went with him to his appointment, and he's got this furrowed brow right now, trying to think of what on earth is she going to talk about?
I never know either.
And I think it really helped him have me along with him for that, because...
Well, I've said it before. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you are my Google. When we go out to a restaurant, I will ask her, did I like this the last time we were here? Or what did I order the last time? Oh, I ordered that. Did I like it? And she will think of the questions that I don't, and I think of the questions that she doesn't. So we had our notebook and we got everything answered, because the provider kicked butt. She was awesome. For the first time going to this, it's a multi-office practice. It's like a medical group or something.
It's a medical group.
They have offices everywhere. And the first time, I don't even want to talk about the quacks in that office. But the first time I wound up going there was also a hospital follow-up. And I went, and they didn't have my records from the hospital yet. Nobody thought to call the hospital or email or whatever they do.
Oh, they said it was the hospital's fault.
Right. They didn't have any of my information. So I'm like, why am I here? But this lady's like, oh, I've got your chart. I've got all your records from the hospital. Everything is good. I'm looking over it. And she went over everything line by line. If we had a question, she would stop and answer our question, and she would ask me some things. And it was totally amazing and like 1000% different than any of the other experiences I had before. But I'm glad that Anna was with me because she had the notebook and she was writing things down. She was asking the questions like, oh yeah, I should have asked that. So if you can go with your partner to a doctor's visit, go.
Do.
Absolutely do.
I'm going to simply refer to, I guess we can call this your new doctor. I'm just going to refer to her as Dr. A. And at one point I was trying to jot down some information and she must have noticed me trying to write fast and furious. And she said, oh, no, we're going to give you copies of all that. So I was just, really impressed that she was paying attention to him, to me. She saw that things were getting written down. So we're just chugging right along.
I still don't understand why you didn't want them to print out all 87 pages.
Oh, so let me explain. First of all, it was 85. Let me explain that. So the last office that we were at, we tried to get copies of his records and we were told they were on the patient portal, which they weren't. I said something to his new doctor. I said, Dr. A, would it be possible to get copies of any lab work, any tests that have been done with this medical group? She said, yeah, no problem. Just go ask my nurse. Boom, we got it. And then I said something about, we don't have any copies of anything from the hospital other than a visit summary. And at first she said, yes, we can print that for you. And then she got this look on her face and said, well, shoot, that's like an 85-page document. I think you can go onto their website and get it. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, 85 pages. Yeah, no problem. We'll go through the hospital for that.
We don't need to print like a novel or a phone book.
But I had a feeling if we had asked, she would have been willing to do that.
I think she would have. It's night. It's really night and day.
That's the day for Dr. A.
Yeah, Dr. A is awesome. We like her. One last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll give the mic to her to say her final words, is we finally got our Shopify store up. We've got some really cool stuff in there. Eventually, I'm looking for a graphic designer to do our logo. We have a logo. It's really cool, but it's not professionally done. It's something I threw together with a logo maker, or maybe I did it in Canva. I forget. I like it. I like the feel of it. I like the vibe, but it's not professional. So once we get it done, I may go to Fiverr or something. I don't know. Or if you know somebody, leave it in the comment somewhere, and we'll check it out. But once we get that in place and we have everything designed the way we want, then we're going to start loading up our store with like Coffee and Cuddles merch, like coffee mugs and pillows and whatever you can think of, buttons, magnets, stickers, any of that chachi stuff that people just have to have. We'll have it very soon.
All right. So you're like out of coffee now. So he's out of coffee. I'm probably out of words. Wait a minute. I'm never out of words. Never out of words. Which is amazing because I talk all day at my 9 to it never stops job. I talk all day as a teacher. So you would think by the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is talk. And somehow I've got plenty of words still in me. I know that he's hoping that I'll run out of words soon. But as always, we appreciate everybody listening, passing around, information on our podcast to families, friends, somebody that you're sitting next to in a coffee shop. We truly appreciate it because, as I've said before, I'm new to the whole podcasting thing. And I'm actually having a blast with this. And we appreciate all of you who are listening. If there's any questions you ever have, or if there's something going on in your relationship and you're wondering, hey, has this ever happened to you two? And how do you handle it? We have no problems with you asking us those kinds of questions. We really, really don't. We want to make this, interactive, I guess you could say. Yeah, we want to make this interactive.
Audience participation.
Yes, audience participation. Maybe someday in the future we'll have a phone bank and we'll have a phone lines and you can call in. Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. And people are probably going, do they still make those kind of boards? I'm sure somebody somewhere does. Boy, with all this talking, you think I was the one who was drinking coffee. So enjoy your weekend. If you happen to catch this episode this weekend, enjoy your weekend. If you catch this episode during the week, have a wonderful week. For those of you that are in Southern California, get your umbrellas, get your coats, get your galoshes or a really good pair of boots because the rain is supposedly coming.
I don't believe it.
Now, my definition of rain and his definition of rain are totally different, but be safe out there and we will talk to you soon.
As always, to reiterate what Anna said, we appreciate each and every one of you listening. We've got lots and lots of downloads and we appreciate everyone. See, I'm doing it. We're very thankful for all the people that have downloaded our podcast and shared it with their friends. So with that in mind, once again, the opinions expressed by the on-air staff are not necessarily those of management.
Because this is just our 2 cents worth.
Your mileage may vary. Thank you all. Good night, good morning, good day, and God bless. We love you all.